All right, I want to move this thing forward, and I want to get to you, my buddy right here, okay? He comes on, he joins me every once in a while on AM 700, KSEV, the voice of Texas. He joins me on the Mac Show, and his name is Ben Streusand. He serves as the advisory board chairman of Americans for Prosperity. Nice try, buddy, huh? Americans for Prosperity. You know who they are, right? Can you give a round of applause for them as well? I mean, they're out there hustling. They're making the thing happen every single day. He is a KSEV political contributor. He is my friend. His name is Ben Streusand. Ben, come on in, buddy.
Appreciate it, buddy. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Mac, and a round of applause to Mac, who's our morning drive on 700 KSEV, the voice of Texas. First of all, I want to thank everyone for listening to KSEV. It's been a real pleasure to meet a lot of people out here, and it's good to know that we're making a difference with the radio station. I want to give you some idea of what's going on across the country. As you know, I serve as the political contributor on KSEV. We talk a lot about national, state, and local politics. One of the other roles that I also serve in the state of Texas is I'm chairman of the advisory board in Texas of Americans for Prosperity, which is a grassroots organization. We have 1.5 million members across the country. There are 120,000 here in Texas. AFP has been dedicated the last 10 years to reducing the size, cost, and scope of the federal government, both federal and state government. That's what we do, and we have grassroots volunteers all over the country. We raise money, and we weigh in various races all across the country, in House races and Senate races, and of course, nationally. Are you ready for this national nightmare to end? We have 16 days. Can you believe it? It seems like this election has been going on for years. In fact, this election started the day Obama was elected. And I know that everyone here, because you wouldn't be here if you didn't feel the same way I did, but everyone here and many of our friends and our associates all across the country have been working tirelessly to change the course we're on. I can tell you AFP has received millions of dollars in contributions from individual contributors who have, they're small businessmen. They have built everything that they have. They built it. Nobody built it for them. The federal government didn't build it for them. And we have been active in all these states all over the country, especially this year in Wisconsin, where AFP was so important in defeating the union's attempts to defeat Governor Scott Walker, to recall him and recall the Republican Senate candidates that passed all the Tea Party reforms in Wisconsin. So if you're interested in finding out more about what we do, go to our website, afp.org. It'll lead you right to us. There's also afptx.org. That's the organization that we've set up in Texas to try to help elect conservatives and those that share our values. I want to talk a little bit now as the KSEV political contributor about what's going on nationally and where we're at 16 days before this election. I can tell you that, and I know most of you listen to the national news media, probably listen a lot to Fox and hopefully KSEV. So you know it basically comes down to the battleground states. Florida, North Carolina, Virginia, New Hampshire, Ohio, Wisconsin, Iowa, Colorado, and Nevada. I mean, I can do that off the top of my head. I've done it so many times. And so in those battleground states, the polls are closing. Mitt Romney, with his tremendous performance in the debate 3 weeks ago, followed up by certainly holding serve in the second debate. I mean, I think Obama probably had home turf in the last debate. But Mitt Romney did well enough to maintain the momentum that he was on. The polls are closing in a lot of these battleground states, and I think that he will win Florida, he will win North Carolina, he will win in Virginia. So where does that leave us with the Electoral College? it leaves us with essentially Ohio and Wisconsin, because any way you look at it, those two states, because of the number of electoral votes that each contributes to the outcome of this election, those two states will determine who the next president is. And I got to tell you that both AFP and the Republican organizations that I belong to have been extremely active in trying to turn out the Republican vote. Now, look, we know that Mitt Romney is not a small government constitutional conservative, but we forgive him, okay? Because we have bigger issues here that we have to deal with, and more important things, and that is turning out the disaster of the last 4 years. The consequences are so grave if this group of people are reelected. We have to prevent it from occurring. This is going to be a ground war. It's a ground war in these states. It's about voting, it's about turnout, and it's about who turns out. And I want to tell you about two of the things that we're doing at Americans for Prosperity to help turn out the vote. In fact, Woodlands Patriots had a meeting about 2 weeks ago and participated in one of the things that AFP has sponsored, and that is a national phone bank where volunteers can essentially use their cell phones, dial into a national basically computer bank that we set up, and the computer will make calls into the state of Ohio or make calls into the state of Virginia, and those calls will be continuous as long as you want to stay on the phone. And what we're trying to do is identify potential Republican voters so that we can go back in 16 days and urge them to come out and vote. So if you want to participate in this and learn more about it, go to afp.org or afptx.org, and you can find out how you can help. Because like I say, this is a grassroots election. It's going to be about voter turnout. We're mad, we're enthused, we're fired up, and the other side is completely deflated. And they've tried to make a comeback, but they are swimming upstream. Our side has the tailwind. The polls are closing. We just have to get the Republican ticket over the top. We all know the consequences. We've heard it from speakers tonight and this afternoon about the 16 going on $17 trillion in national debt. Most of you don't know that the Federal Reserve is buying 77% of the debt that the Treasury sells year after year after year. Sooner or later, they're going to have to stop. They won't have a choice. And when that happens, then the national nightmare will begin, and we're looking at an economic cataclysm of proportions that we don't want to leave to our children and our grandchildren to clean up. I know you know this. That's why you're here. If you want to do something about it, go to afptx.org, sign up, become a member, join our phone bank operation. And I just want to say to you, thanks very much for coming out. I want to thank all the volunteers at the Woodlands Tea Party Patriots PAC that are on both sides of the stadium helping out. You did a phenomenal job. We really appreciate it for putting this event together. And God bless you, and God bless this country. Thank you very much.